Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I have my design team haul from Cottage Cuts. I thought I would share this video because I actually did get the full collection this month. So since I have the full collection, I wanted to show everything that you can get in the new baseball and golf release. Now, even though it's called baseball and golf, I think that there are some elements or die sets in this release that are great for any sport, and some that are also just general purpose, even outside of sports altogether. So let me, what I've done is I've separated these into what I feel are very specific to baseball. The next set is a set of dies that I feel are very specific to golf. And then the last set that I'll show are the ones that I think are a little bit more general purpose. And I also have two cards that I made that I'll show you at the end as well. So starting off, we have baseball, and this is nice. This is a really large size baseball. It's 3 inches in diameter, and it's got the different die cuts for the stitching detail for the ball as well. So really nice, that one. Then we have the word baseball with a shadow or a bubble layer, and there's that sort of kind of that little swoosh that suggests the motion of the baseball flying out, and that baseball is a separate little die cut that you can layer up, and so that's kind of fantastic. It's obviously going to be a smaller baseball than the one that you would see or that you would get here. Then we have baseball batter silhouettes. So there's two silhouettes here, and they're sort of at different, I guess, stages in a baseball swing. So he's more at the beginning of the swing, and then this figure is more sort of in the middle of the swing. There is a little circle die that lets you put the baseball into your scene as well. And of course, that's not going to have any stitch detail because it's a silhouette, but also because it's so tiny. Then we have the baseball glove, bat, and ball. So again, we're getting another baseball here, but it is a different size from all of the baseballs that we've had so far. It's actually just a smidge larger than this one that comes in the phrase. So that's the lovely thing about Cottage Cuts. When they design their collection, even though you're seeing some elements repeat, they're not identical. And so if you do buy the full or collection or multiple die sets within the collection, everything's going to be unique and different, and will have its own sort of purpose or place in your card making. Those are the items that I feel are very, very specific to baseball. Then going into the golf themed dies. So we have the silhouette of a golfer. I think he's at the end of his swing. Then we've got the golf cart, which also comes with a golf bag and golf clubs. And see, you can get the full golf clubs here, and this is the top portion of the golf bag that you can have sitting in your cart. Then we've got a little bit of that sort of putting green and the hole with the flag as well. So those are all separate that you can die cut from different colored cardstock, or die cut and then color in yourself and layer those up. We have a golf ball and the tee, and the ball itself is pretty large. It's 1.5 inches in diameter. And so if you're ever wondering about scale and whether you can put these on the same scene with each other, you can always look at the packaging, and on the Cottage Cuts website, you'll see the assembled size, and that will give you a good idea for if you have two die sets that you're wondering, can you combine those elements together? How are they going to look? Well, some of it just depends on how you use it, and but if you want to sit two items next to each other, look for the assembled size, and that will give you a really good idea. Then we have the golf bag and clubs, and again, so this is larger than the golf clubs that came with the cart. This one is 1 inch by 2.5 inches, and that's assuming that you put the golf clubs how they have it, but the golf clubs are the full club, so you can have them sitting inside the bag, you can have them laying down, you have ultimate freedom to kind of choose how you want to combine them with the golf bag. Then we've got a golf basket of balls, and the nice thing about this though is that the basket is actually, it does have separate pieces to assemble the basket, and then the golf balls are a separate die cut. So this basket you could just use as a basket for anything. So for example, last month we got strawberries and bees, and in that collection there were a lot of differently sized strawberries. So you could have a basket full of strawberries if you wanted. So this could really be, you know, a basket full of anything. And the basket itself is about 1.5 by 1.5 inches. So there's that one. Those are the items that I feel like are very specific to golf. Then getting into items that I think are general for any sport, and then some, you know, for even outside of sports, like the cap here. I think that doesn't necessarily have to be for somebody who is a sports fan. I sometimes wear baseball caps and I don't really play any sports. So you have the really lovely baseball cap, and the fantastic stitching detail here is phenomenal. The attention to detail is really great. On the packaging itself, it does actually suggest how you can combine this with another set, baseball phrases, to add design to the front of the baseball cap. And even though this does say baseball phrases, I feel like these can be general for any sport. And number one can be just for anything. Number one dad, number one mom. It can be whatever you want. The phrases or the words here, they are different and have different shadow layers. So All-Star does not have a shadow. Number one has its shadow or bubble layer, and MVP actually has 2 shadow layers. So you can really build that up, and it looks fantastic when you have all 3 layers. I'll show you an example of that on my card. Then here we have the word All-Stars plural, and with its shadow or bubble layer. So that word is the same font as the one that you see in baseball phrases, but not only does it have its shadow layer, it's also larger than the All-Star word that came in baseball phrases. So there's that. Then we also have All-Star emblem with the star and the circular design. Now that's really fantastic. You could even snip into this if you just wanted to kind of take the stars out of it. But that's really phenomenal, and love that design. Then we have the word star by itself with its bubble layer or shadow layer. And again, you know, that you could use just, it's very general purpose. It doesn't even have to do anything with sports. You could use that if you wanted to add "you're a star." You know, that would be a fantastic sort of congratulations or celebratory card. So that's, I think, very general purpose, as is this one, which is trophies. And so you could win trophies for anything, not just sports. So that's why I really feel like that is great on its own. And you could give trophies for things like, you know, number one dad or number one mom. So I think that's really great. And you do get the 2 different size trophies, and the number one does have a shadow layer, and that number one, same font as the one from baseball phrases, but it's smaller. So baseball phrases has the larger number one, this has the smaller number one die cut. So that's the full baseball and golf release. Let me show you the couple of cards that I've made. So I've got this one, which features a lot of the baseball items, that really large baseball there, and the All-Stars. This is the larger All-Stars word with the shadow layer. And here I've combined it with, this is the retro alphabet die set, which has all 26 letters in the alphabet, but then it's also got different shapes that you can combine with those letters to give it that retro feel. So I thought that would be really fun. A little detail to add, a little sentiment on that card. And then my second card, I don't have a process or a tutorial video on how I made this one. I do have a separate video for this, which I'll post next week. So this one uses a lot of the golf-themed elements, although these are actually baseball bats from the batter's silhouette. It's actually that bat right there I've used as those sort of motion streak lines to give the impression that our golfer here has just hit this ball and it's flying straight, kind of at us. And so that's an example where, yes, this golf ball is large relative to the silhouette, but with the inclusion of these sort of motion lines, it almost feels like it makes sense, because it feels like the ball is coming closer towards us and he's like a little bit further away. So this is a joy fold card. So you can open this flap and reveal a little bit more of the scene. So here I've got the little putting green area, although I've made this, I guess, sort of a sand trap. And it's got the hole with the flag. And here's that cap, which I die cut it from a dark colored cardstock, so you might not be able to see the stitch detail, but it's really, really lovely. And here's that MVP. Now, again, this does have 2 shadow layers. You might not be able to see the one that's on the bottom because it's black, but it does give it a lot of depth and a lot of texture because it's actually 3 layers of cardstock. So that's really wonderful, that detailing there. And then with the Joyfold, this panel also opens and it can reveal even more. So what I love about the Joyfold card is that you can kind of hide little scenes behind each of these panels so that as the card recipient opens it, it reveals more and more of the scene. And here's where I've used the cart, but I did not include the little golf clubs that do come in that die set. And the happy birthday sentiment is also from Cottage Cuts. This one does come with a shadow layer, but because I was putting white on top of a dark brown, there's already enough contrast, so I didn't really think that I needed the shadow. Plus, I really wanted to be intentional about how I placed this so that it would be completely hidden when you've opened the card this far. That way, it's only after you've opened this last flap that you get the happy birthday sentiment. So I'll have that video posted next week, and definitely check out the Cottage Cuts YouTube channel if you want to check out even more inspiration using the baseball and golf collection. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you want to catch new videos as I post them, subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.